What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Let's listen to some words being spoken by Don Charles about possible Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora match.
There's been a lot of talk, I think started by Derek initially, about fighting Deontay Wilder. A lot of fans out there are concerned about that, potentially, because Derek is hittable. It's fair to say his defence has improved, but he's still hittable, and Deontay Wilder, no one hits harder. Would you be concerned about that fight?
It wouldn't be my first choice opponent, okay, but I share everybody's concern. The fans, they only care for Derek, hence why they're saying retire or don't fight Wilder. As human beings, what beats us sometimes is fear. Yeah, everybody has fear. It's how you deal with that fear. I share their concern, but I can assure people if we do consider to take that fight, I can assure you guys that we will nullify that right hand of his. We've done it before, we'll do it again, as in against other oppositions. I can share people's concern, but I can guarantee you that it is not my first choice of opponent for Derek Chisora. Okay, there's other fights out there for him, and but we're prepared for any eventuality. Basically, you have to have that sort of mindset.
Well, let's talk about that, because you are his trainer, you're also a heavyweight specialist. In your view, what's the ideal next fight for Derek Chisora? If you could have any heavyweight in the world, who would it be and why?
Yeah, I mentioned it before and I said it again, but what I want and what we get is three different things. Ideally, the person I would like Derek to fight, me personally, my first choice would be Joyce, someone of that caliber, and positioning where he's at the moment, what Joe's done for himself, remarkably, really, really well. And secondly, the most obvious fight really is Dillian Whyte. It's the most obvious one, a trilogy. And because, let's face it, all the titles, the main titles are all spoken for the foreseeable future, right? So you got to look at them. What other big fights can you be in? Like, Derek doesn't need any tune-ups, nor does Dillian Whyte. At the level they're fighting, I think it's a non-brainer, really. Those are the two fights I would see Derek in.
All right, so he says Deontay Wilder wouldn't be his first choice, and he shares those same feelings that people have for Derek Chisora about either retire or stay away from Wilder because, the right hand. And he goes on to say, as you heard, that, he can assure us that if they do take that fight, they're going to nullify the right hand. Of course, you have to have a game plan. You have to go in there and focus on executing and getting the win. That's easier said than done as far as him nullifying the right hand, because Derek Chisora is extremely easy to hit. Now, he just may be able to nullify it. Who knows? But if he doesn't, even if he gets ahead of Wilder on the scorecards, we've seen Wilder get outboxed, and Wilder will be patient and just wait to land that right hand. Then again, a fighter can wait all night to land a shot and then never get a chance to land that shot, or land it the way, with the impact that they, wanted to. So Derek Chisora decides he wants to continue to fight, so he has to fight somebody. So that wouldn't be Don Charles' first choice. Now, the fight that he said he wants is Joyce. Now, with Derek Chisora and Joyce, you have two slow guys. One that's a volume puncher, doesn't really have big power to be a heavyweight, especially a heavyweight of his size, but volume pressure can take a shot and keep coming. They're both easy to hit. Joyce takes a punch better than Derek Chisora. It's harder to wobble Joyce than it is Chisora. Definitely, we're seeing that. I think it's a good fight. until Joyce starts to really get him tired, and he keeps coming, and I believe in that situation, if he, the longer the fight goes, pretty much that it favors Joyce in the long run, because I just feel like Joyce's stamina, his conditioning, and his pressure, I just think it'd be a bit too much for Derek Chisora, but we never know. Maybe we'll see. I think against Wilder, we don't know how he's looking now. His body's been resting, from the fight that he had with Fury, which he took some big shots in that fight. And a lot of times, we don't know, what effect any one particular fight had on a fighter until they get in the ring and you see a difference. So, can't say he's any better or worse than what he was. So we don't know. But if that same Wilder that fought Fury, if he can still perform at least on that level, I think that Wilder knocks Derek Chisora out. Now, again, it's no guarantee, but I favor Wilder to knock him out. I just think he catches him at some point, whether early or later, have it. I just think he catches him, and he catches him clean, because Derek Chisora is just there to be hit. So I just think I favor Wilder against him. I favor Joyce against him. I understand the logic of what he's saying about bigger fights and the, world titles being pretty much in play right now between Usyk and Anthony Joshua, and of course Tyson Fury is waiting for the winner, which I told you guys. Now people are starting to, Frank Warren and these guys are speaking, and people are, the content creators are now. I ain't even watching any videos. I've just seen titles about Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury waiting for the winner of Anthony Joshua and Usyk, and it's like, yeah. I mean, to me, that was a no-brainer. Like I told you guys, the guy's still paying sanctioning fees. He's still the WBC champion. I don't know how the hell you retire and you're still paying sanctioning fees and still holding on to the title. Title's given up. You're no longer recognized as a champion, and you're no longer ranked when you're retired. So I don't know why that was so hard for people to keep, everybody's saying Fury is fighting. Fury's retired. No, he's not retired, man. Stop. So anyway, we know that he's waiting for the winner of that common sense. So I get what he's saying and the logic about the Dillian Whyte situation and the trilogy. But honestly, man, that ship has sailed for me. I'm like, if they were 1-1, okay, and he wanted a tiebreaker, I still really wouldn't be really up for that fight particularly, but at the end of the day, it's like, we don't know with Dillian, man. Dillian might have slowed down just enough to where Derek might be able to get the victory over him with, I don't know, if Dillian, if Chisora just decided to throw an uppercut, it could just be lights out for Dillian, man. Dillian has always proven to be a little better than Derek Chisora. Always had enough to beat him. So, you never know. Could be a Juan Manuel Marquez Pacquiao 4 situation, or whichever, fight it was where he knocked him out in. So, you never know. Derek might get his revenge. With Dillian, I don't know. Derek might, with all of them, you always have a puncher's chance when you got power, to be able to go in there and even if you're losing the fight, get that shot in and get him out of it. But I favor, like I said, Deontay over Chisora by knockout. I think Joyce wears him down, and he might get the stoppage, like the ref may stop it, and just too much, and maybe Chisora's throwing is getting clipped to the point where he's getting hit with, who knows? He might even put him down, but I favor Joyce over him, like I said. Dillian Whyte, I'm not really sure. Dillian's been knocked out now by Anthony Joshua. He's been knocked out, now by Povetkin. He's been knocked out now by Tyson Fury, and he's always getting knocked out by an uppercut, and it's always one punch and he's out, one and done. So who's to say Chisora won't land that same uppercut? You understand? So I don't know about Dillian. I don't know if Dillian is starting to slip or what. I don't know what's going on. So every fight is different. You can't always go by, like I said, because this guy beat this guy type of situation. But maybe if I see Dillian fight someone else that's a worthy opponent and see what he look like, you can tell when a fighter, okay, he's not doing this anymore. He stopped doing that. He's not as quick with that. His reflexes don't seem the same. I don't know. I can't really give you a good assessment on Dillian. And the difference with Fury, his height and reach, he used it the way he was supposed to. Of course, Dillian wouldn't have that same problem with Chisora. And they fought twice, so it would be easy for him to readjust to a guy that he's already been in the ring with. But I don't know. As far as Derek, he's going to continue to fight, and it is what it is. So I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Joyce. I wouldn't mind seeing Wilder fight Joyce, to be honest with you. That's out of all the guys that I want to see in the heavyweight division, like if it's like a fight that I would want to see with two top guys, I would want to see Joyce versus Wilder to see how that, definitely. I think that'll be stylistically. Joyce is easy to hit and he's slow, man, and he's tough. He's been durable. Can he take Wilder's right hand? Don't know. Don't know. But overall, I would like to see that fight. And I wouldn't mind seeing Chisora versus. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Joyce either if he's going to continue to fight. But really, that's going to be up to him. I'm not going to get into what I think he should or shouldn't do. So that's his thing. Anyway, tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings it out of people, and I will catch you guys on the next video.